my presentation will be divided in three parts. Firstly, I will introduce the three players who have decided to join forces with the e-archiving initiative. Secondly, I will quickly give you the essential information you need to know about the VITAM program, which is the French Interministerial Digital Archiving Program. And finally, I will talk more concretely about the prospects for cooperation between the various partners. So, what are the French players involved? To begin with, the Interministerial Service of Archives of France is one of the departments making up the General Directorate for Heritage and Architecture of the Ministry of Culture. The SIAF defines and coordinates and evaluates the state's action in the area of archives, with the exception of those under the responsibility of Ministry of Armed Forces and the Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs, which are autonomous in this area and have their own archive services. However, the SIAF's work falls within a strategic framework defined by the Interministerial Committee for the Archives of France, and the SIAF supervises the National Archives. National Archives is made up of three departments. The first, the National Archives, is a General Archives with two in Paris and in Pierrefitte-sur-Seine. And the other two are specialized and decentralized. The National Overseas Archives are located in the south of France, and the National Labor Archives in the north. And the SIAF coordinates and evaluates the work of almost 800 public archive services, including in particular the departmental archive services, the entire archival chain. The National Archives, you have here two photos of the National Archives in Paris, who are also interested in partnering with e-archiving. On the left, you see one of the historic buildings, the Hôtel de Soubise, built in 1808. And on the right, the new building by architect Massimiliano Fuxas, built in 2013, the world's largest archive center. The National Archives preserves and provides access to the records of the Central Administration of States, original deeds produced by Paris notaries and private records group of national interest. And it is important to say that the French National Archives was one of the first archive services in the world to address the issue of electronic archives at a very early stage, back in the 1980s. The first accession consisted mainly on statistical survey files, but now with the changes in the use of information packages, other types of documents are now deposited and reserved at the National Archives. And in total, currently, the National Archives hold 383 linear kilometers of paper archives and 110 terabytes of electronic archives. And 29 terabytes of data were collected in 2022. Areas, sharing expertise in European organizations, like the International Council on Archives or the UNESCO, training for foreign archivists, bilateral cooperation, should also mention standardization, because the SIAF participates working group of the AFNOR, the scene, the ISO. Oh, sorry. For the SIAF, digital archiving is, I don't know if the word is correct in English, but in French we say the backbone of our joint strategic modernization framework for the years 2020-2024. It is one of the 5 strategic axes of this framework, and it's a question of scaling up. And this commitment is reflected in 3 operational objectives: to facilitate the emergence, maintenance, and development of tools dedicated to digital archiving by ensuring the continuity of the VITAM archiving platform. I will talk about that in a few moments. To simplify digital archiving operations for producers and archivists, and to guarantee the interoperability and quality of the data stored in electronic archiving systems. The third player who will be directly involved in this venture is the VITAM team, the Interministerial Digital Archiving Program. VITAM stands for Values Intangible Transmitted to the Archive from Memory. It was validated by the Interministerial Committee for the Archives of France on the 1st of July 2013 and launched officially on the 9th of March 2015. To face the growing amount of data, format, and size in document production in the administration, the 3 ministries got together and pooled their resources, functional specifications, development of a software taking into account safety requirements and of each ministries, and each ministries implemented its own VITAM software and infrastructure. And 3 objectives were assigned to VITAM program. First, to develop a free digital archiving software capable of managing, preserving, and providing long-term access to the transferred digital archives. It is a back office. Then to ensure that this software will be used at a minimum by the 3 ministries supporting the program in order to build their own digital archiving platform, and then allow the widest possible reuse of the software through partnerships with other public entities. VITAM was a project between 2016 and 2019, and now VITAM is in the maintenance and continuous improvement phase, during which VITAM accessible as a service, VAS, is being developed to meet users' interfacing needs. Here is the Agile manifesto of VITAM. This is a sentence that takes up the essence of the project, used as a foundation of the Agile methodology. So it's for public agencies, in order to provide long-term access to their digital information, VITAM proposes a free archiving software, scalable, simple, and easily interfaced and integrated, which permits unitary and secure management of billion objects and targets its adoption by the largest number of public agencies. And now the VITAM Users Club has 70 members, including 8 ministries, 2 prefectures, and the Paris Police Prefecture, 16 local authorities, 8 departments, 8 cities and big cities, 18 digital services companies, and 23 operators. And the network is growing with 16 new members since the beginning of 2023. A few words about the functional architecture and normative context. The VITAM software solution meets the standards and norms applicable for archiving, the MEDONA, the SEDA, the NFZ 42013, and it is fundamentally based on the OAIS model, which divides its functionalities into 6 areas, as you know: ingest, storage, data management, administration, preservation, and access. And VITAM also follows various rules and regulations regarding access, records management, classification, security, etc. There are several ways to become a VITAM user. Either you can install your own VITAM on premise, and then you are an owner, and thus you have the keys to your house, or you can use it in SaaS mode, in software as a service, and be a sort of tenant of a shared or dedicated instance. To choose, you have to think about volumes, about the skills that can be and must be mobilized, and you have to think about information governance. With VITAM UI, VITAM has gone from being a back office to a user interface. The solution's user experience, UX, is the result of an in-depth study of its uses, and it is an ecosystem of applications. There is apps for use, for parameterization, supervision, etc., that can be customized by each user. And to conclude this very brief presentation of VITAM, here is an overview of the VITAM-based systems now operating currently in production in France since 2018. Now, how do VITAM and eArchiving work together? Just remember the beginnings, because the first exchanges between the VITAM team and the E-ARK consortium began in 2015 as part of the Connecting Europe Facilities program. There have been meetings at international events such as in Reykjavik in 2015 and in Amsterdam in 2019, but it was informal meetings, and the exchanges resumed in 2022 as part of the new eArchiving Common Services platform and now eArchiving initiative. And cooperating with eArchiving also makes sense at a time when the SIAF is actively involved in the work of the SIN TC 468 about preservation of digital information, like Christian said. For the SIAF, the promotion of VITAM in Europe is a strategic objective. We have to encourage reuse and complementary developments. And for the VITAM program, it's an ongoing action too with a dynamic approach to dissemination. And the program management is keen to compare the model and standards on which the VITAM standard solution is based, OEAIS and SIDA, with the other norms and standards which are used in Europe, such as principally METS in and PREMIS. So, taking into account the common interest in the development of cooperation in the field of digital archives, and with a view to strengthening scientific and technical relations in this field, the E-ARK consortium on one hand and the Interministerial Service of the Archives of France with the VITAM program and the National Archives on the other hand have concluded a memorandum of understanding agreement. And you have here the following topics on which we can work, such as the electronic signature, functional specification, norms and standards, comparison of exchange formats and description models, conversions between these different formats and models, software solution, the regulatory framework, such as EIDAS, and standardization committees. The memorandum was signed on the 3rd of July 2023. We can also mention the articles 3, 4, 7, and 8 of this memorandum, because we will exchange publications, specialized literature. We will set up participation in conferences such as today, seminar, courses, writing articles. We have decided to meet at least once a year, but since September, it's almost once a month. And the term of this memorandum is 5 years. And to finish, what levels of synergy are possible between VITAM and eArchiving? Discussion can focus on the model, on technical level, by comparing the structure of SIPs and DIPs. More concretely, initial discussion in September and October in the presence of the Hungarian company Polyphon enabled work to begin on this comparison. And then we can work on use cases, even on raising awareness to develop our memorandum of understanding. I thank you for your attention, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.